And Mark Morris back in the Radar Free Press studios, and the show is Along the Rock, as you may know by now. My guest today, Marion Younger. Marion, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
I know you're a busy lady, and we're going to tell them why, too. Marion, of course, is not only affiliated with the Kay's Corner operation near Sterling, and she's also very intimately involved with the PADS shelter in Dixon. Now, tell me about PADS as it applies to Dixon, where it started and where it is today.
Originally in 1990, it was opened as a shelter for people to come to at night in the wintertime. And PAD stood for Public Awareness to Deliver Shelter, because that's what they did. And then in 2009, I was asked to be the director, and I said, I want to look at 24/7, 365, because people need more than just shelter. They need help. We don't give people a handout, we give them a hand up. We want them to get their lives back on track.
Sure.
So now PAD stands for Providing Advocacy, Dignity, and Shelter.
All right. Well, that's a good transition. I've been covering PADS organizations for many years, but honestly never knew what it stood for. So stands for something different in Dixon. Is the local chapter a part of a nationwide organization as well?
No, every PAD shelter is its own. We're just in Dixon, and we have two shelters. We have a men's shelter and a women and children's shelter, but we're not affiliated with anybody else.
Okay, do you mind telling me where they are? I know one of them is not too far from where I live.
The men's shelter is right next to the ComEd parking lot on the south side.
Okay.
The women's shelter is across from Subway.
All right. How is the population of those two shelters? Is the need being fulfilled and then some, or?
It fluctuates. The fire code limits us to 16 people per house.
Okay.
If you go over 16 people, then you become a whole different designation. You have to have so many square feet per person and all other kinds of stuff. So we're limited to 16 per house. Mm-hmm. And our population fluctuates, but sometimes we get pretty full.
Yeah, I imagine so. You mentioned people can come and they can stay until their life gets straightened out. So what exactly do you, as the head of the organization, do to get them to be aware of what's holding them back, if you will, and what they need to do about it?
When they come in, we sit down with them and evaluate what the problems are that brought them to this point where they're homeless. And then we figure out what exactly do you need to do. Do you need an education? Do you need a driver's license? Do you need Social Security, disability? What do you need to do? Do you just need to find a job? Whatever you need to do, those are the steps that we set out in your program. It's an individual program for each person. And as long as they obey the rules and follow their program, they can stay until they get their life straightened out.
Sure. Not meaning to cast any aspersions, but there must be some who come to you with drinking or drug problems.
Yeah, and we work with them to get involved with AA or NA or whatever the problem is. They get drug tested and alcohol tested to be sure that they're staying clean.
Mm-hmm. Okay, does that usually work out within the time frame that they're there?
Well, like I say, they have to obey the rules, and staying clean is one of the rules. Right. We don't kick them out on the first time, but if they repeatedly offend, then they'll have to leave.
Sure. And what is it that you provide inside the homes, the shelters?
Everything. All the necessities of living. There's food and all the daily supplies, everything that they need. is provided.
Now, I mentioned at the outset of the show that you are also very involved with the Kay's Corner operation, and you have or did have a fundraiser recently that involved pads, and it's, let's face it, something that people in this country love to do, which is gamble. Tell me about that.
The Queen of Hearts is, it's a great fundraiser for charities. The Dixon VFW started it in this area.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a roof, and because they are a nonprofit, they can do it for themselves. A Queen of Hearts has to either be run by a nonprofit or for a nonprofit.
Okay.
So the VFW is a nonprofit, and they needed a roof, so they started the Queen of Hearts. And their jackpot got so big, by the time it got hit, they had their new roof, and they gave $5,000 each to 5 local charities, PADS being one of them. So when I came to Kay's, and then we had a need for a women's shelter, because we had, at that time, we only had one shelter, and we needed a separate shelter for the women and children. We had a house donated to us, but it needed a lot of work. It had a lead problem, and it had, the power got turned off in the wintertime with a boiler. So we had to replace the heating and cooling and plumbing and everything. So I thought, okay, I can run a Queen of Hearts for the nonprofit. And we started to raise money for the women's shelter, to fix up the women's shelter.
Okay.
We're still doing it. We had the big one got hit, and we started another one this week. The jackpot started at 41,000.
It started at 41,000.
It started with 41,000.
Okay. that's a good fundraiser.
It's a nice start, yeah. And we have so far, we've donated 200,000 to PADS with the Queen of Hearts and the 50-50 drawing. The last one we did, we started at 50, because the drawing before that went to the very last card, so that's 54 weeks. 54 weeks waiting for the jackpot in order to give money to PADS. 54 weeks of 2 houses paying gas and electric,
Sure.
everything. So the bank account got seriously depleted waiting for the jackpot. So we started this one, and I said, okay, we'll do a 50-50 every week so we can donate money every single week. So this last drawing, the 50-50 donated $42,000 to PADS.
Okay. So I want to make sure I got this clear. So there are actually kind of 2 games going on at the same time?
Yeah, there's two games going on. One for the big jackpot and one to keep it going.
Wow, that's impressive. But as I say, people love to gamble, don't they? I mean,
Yeah, well, 42,000 went to PADS, but 42,000 went to the people. You know, because it's a 50-50 drawing, so.
Now, is this the people who benefit from this or these fundraisers? Is it like a rotating thing, or is it all the same organizations continuing to benefit?
Well, we do PADS. You know,
Okay.
every place that runs a 50-50 has their own charity. We do PADS because I'm involved with PADS.
Right.
But, I mean, other places, maybe they switch out to different charities, I don't know. I've had other charities come to me and ask me to do it, but I'm dedicated to PADS, so.
Sure. Well, that gives it some more weight. Your decision making. This is kind of a silly question, I guess. The old church at the corner of Lincoln and 6th, is that part of your organization? I know there's
Lincoln
been
and
work
6th.
done in there. It's,
Goodfellows?
Yeah. Is that part of PADS at all?
No.
Okay.
No. We work with Goodfellows. We work with a lot of other organizations, you know, Tri-County and the YMCA and the food pantry donates food to us. So we work with a lot of organizations, but we're separate from everybody else.
Okay.
They just,
Well, I kind of wondered, I'm not sure what services they offer as opposed to the PADS shelters, but I have seen a lot of work going on there, so I thought maybe
Yeah,
this
Goodfellas
was
does a
kind
lot of good
a
work.
place for overflow or something like that, so. How many hours a week do you spend at working for PADS, and how many hours do you estimate you're working for Ks? I'm just wondering if you ever get any sleep. That's that's the real question.
when the drawing gets big like it does, there's a lot of time donated to the drawing. But I'm there 12 hours a day anyway, so.
Has it always been like that?
Yeah, I've been working 12 hours a day for about 47 years.
One of those people that just loves to work and obviously loves to help other people as well.
With this last drawing, what we want to do with the PADS money that was donated, there are a lot of homeless people that don't fit our program. They're not really looking to get on their own. They're not that uncomfortable with their situation, so they don't want to follow rules. But they still need shelter and they still need food. So what we want to do is open up a warming center where the people that don't fit the program can get out of the elements and get something to eat. And that's what we're going to do with the money that we got this time.
Okay, so you said you had $42,000.
No, the
was
42,000.
already used?
The 42,000 was used to, but the drawing gave PAD 60,000.
Okay. So how far along are you in the process? I know you've got to choose a place and perhaps buy that place or
Oh no.
rent it.
We're gonna do this on our property.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there will be like a separation there and
Yeah.
kind of a wigwam next to the regular shelter. Marion, I appreciate you coming out, and if somebody needs to contact you or wants to contact you, either at K's or at PADS, what would they do? How would they contact you?
Just
call,
me.
email.
Just call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to give out that number?
815-440-6306.
Okay. Marion Younger, thanks for coming and
Thank you.
joining us, and I'm sure we'll see you again.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'm Mark Morris. Thanks for watching today, and we'll have more Along the Rock as time goes by. Hope you can join us next time. Take care.